Hey guys, Mike here. So, but what a boring day in the market today with an extremely tight range in the S&P. We'll get into that. We're going to get into a couple of high-flying stocks to watch out for. Also, 3 of the Mag 7 that are in very good bounce spots here. And of course, the Mag 7 or 8 if you include AVGO, the market goes. Okay, and so we're going to look at those. But I will start off with this right here, and it is one. Some of these stocks will surprise you of what the largest purchases were through Q2, I mean, especially the ones I'm going to show you. But also, we're going to go into some retail data, which is horrific if it's actually true, it seems like, in the food and service industry. I mean, it's just amazing. And I want to see if you guys are seeing this in your area because it was so bad. I was like, really? Is this true? But first, let's start off with the biggest net buys during Q2. We pretty much know about Berkshire, Amazon, UNH. Those should not be like a shocking deal, right? These are 45 big hedge funds, okay? But probably the biggest surprise was what the other ones were, okay? And if we kind of zoom in here, you can see NUE, Disney, but then at the end, you have Bull, which is Webull, Coupang, and I'll zoom in so you can actually see this more, Chime. And so, I don't know if your stock is on here or not, but again, the ones at the end especially surprised me. And so, I just want to make you aware of that if you're in any of these stocks. Lennar was another one, by the way. It's up there by NUE. And so I'm not surprised to see that one really in there, but you can see kind of what they're loading up on Q2. Now, this is the retail sales data. It's the food service and drinking places, 3-month rolling average. And you can see, I mean, since May, it's just fallen off a cliff, okay? And when you look over, you go, well, here's May, June, July 2023. You're going up, which makes sense, right? Because you got a lot of tourists coming in, everything, going in the restaurants, everywhere else. So, you would think that makes sense. And then it kind of dwindles off as the year goes on. And then we come into 2024, and there you got May, June, July. It's coming up, not as high, but still, but then all of a sudden you drop, and then you get this huge pop up September, October, November. Then it falls off a cliff. And then this one, though, it's just not that way. It's like, holy moly. And so I'm just looking, thinking, man, let me know in your area if you're seeing this kind of stuff happen. I'm just curious because that's just a big, big drop. So I don't know. I can't wait to see what August is going to hold for us to see what happens. Now, what's interesting is when you look at the data coming out of Vegas, this was at the end of June. And this was, as you can see, disastrous numbers, okay? Visitor volume, minus 11%. Convention attendance, minus 11%. Room inventories, minus 2.3%. Hotel occupancy, down 6.5%. And then we look at what they're reporting at Harry International Airport. It says overall passenger numbers through the airport, and this was through July, were down 6.3%. And then the international passengers were down 9.8%. But from what I've heard about Vegas is you can't really look at it too much because for some odd reason, they raise prices through the roof on everything. I mean, a cup of coffee, costs like 10 to 15 bucks. The buffet is $100 per person now. Used to, you got good deals on the stuff because they wanted you to gamble, but then they just jacked the price sky high. So a lot of people just aren't even going anymore. So used to, people would look at Vegas and say, well, if Vegas is going down as far as tourism, then it means the economy is slowing. But they might just price themselves out, honestly, because everything I read and everything people I've talked to just said they just price themselves out. They're not going there. They'll go somewhere else. So let me know if you've been to Vegas. And let me know what you're seeing in the restaurants in your area and stuff like that. Now, getting into the market here, you can see a 0.27% range for the day right here from the very bottom to the very top of it. I mean, it was just nothing going on, okay? Nothing going on. And when you look here, I mean, still just basically consolidating, right? 4 days of consolidation now. You can see by that bar, that is an extremely small candle right there. But we're still just in this tight little range right here. Got the liquidity below you right there. Got the previous all-time high. If it wants to come down, test that right there. We can see that on the bottom. Obviously to the top, around 64.90 if we want to start to push up. Some liquidity to be had there as well. And to me, the market's just going to go as NVDA goes, right? I mean, they're reporting next week. It's consolidating as well too. It was slightly green for the day. And the big question is it going to go ahead and continue to consolidate or move up? I mean, it's been sitting in this 3.5% range now for, I think, 8 days now, 8 trading days that is. So in the past, in the last earnings, a couple of years we've gotten in August, you either got a run up coming into earnings it dumped, or you consolidated and it dumped. Either way, it dumped. So we'll see if it's going to keep that pattern going. But for now, that's really the bigger question on everybody's mind because obviously the heaviest weighted. And of course, it'll drag everything else down with it. And nobody expects bad earnings, by the way. I mean, seriously. So if this thing was to run up in the earnings between 193, 198, somewhere in there, it'd be the next like fib level to watch out for. And then we'll see what happens on the earnings part, because the last two earnings for the last 2 years during this time frame were really good as well. They just use an excuse to sell it all. Now, AVGO at a great bounce point. We're going to see if it holds this parallel channel right here. So far, it's holding it. We know what happens when parallel channels break, by the way. It's not good. And so if this one bounce, obviously it's got a nice heavy weight to it as well. That's going to help the market. If NVIDIA holds up, that's going to help the market. And when we look at this on more of a 4 hour, you can see we got some liquidity above right there to be had. And so we'll mark that out. So anywhere from like 307, 310 right there. We'll see if we're going to get that tomorrow. And it didn't hit the channel at the bottom perfectly, so it still is room down to the bottom. But I mean, it missed about like 30 cents or something. You know what I'm saying? So we got those two levels at the top, and that's what it's going to do. Wouldn't surprise me again. AVGO, probably one of the best charts out there. But if you finally see this parallel channel break, like you saw in Taiwan Semiconductors, then and so many others, then we'll finally get some weakness down probably to 292, 283, somewhere in that range. So watch out for that one to bounce. Microsoft, what did it do? Filled the earnings gap, gave every bit of it back off that earnings, filled the gap today. That's where it stopped. That's where it's got a little bounce point going on. So this is going to be another one right here to watch out for, see if it bounces, because if it bounces, AVGO bounces, NVIDIA holds up, you can pretty much bet the market will most likely be green tomorrow, as we can see right here. But again, I got these levels like marked out if this thing does start to finally show weakness and stuff on the way down. And so we'll see if these levels are going to hold up or not. Again, look at the level below it right there. So anywhere from top 517, bottom 506, we start to come down there, and this gap fill just isn't enough for it. That's what we'll see. Obviously, you can see it's down a discount now from the last swing low. Okay. So again, we'll see if this is going to be it. These stocks love to fill the gaps and then get the bounces and everything. Another one's Apple. It's not quite the bounce point, but if it does come down just a little bit more, you can see right there is a nice little daily and balance and come down into, get that bounce. I believe that put it in discount right there. So that would be a nice area for this one to bounce. Right now it's holding up. It really is just holding in a very tight range for, I believe, the last 3 days. And so again, actually right below that imbalance would be the 0.5 fib where the gap is and stuff. And so it's another one to watch out for. Obviously, third highest rated stock right here. So far, it's really just consolidating in a nice tight range right there. So watch out for that one as well. Now, again, the high beta stuff, I think Hood's going to kind of dictate this for all of them. Every time it goes below that line, that 113.50 area, it just gets sucked right back up and they close above. That's the obviously all-time high, 117.60 right there. So again, if this pushes up, I think you're going to see a lot of other stuff push up with it. And so that's why I keep watching this one. Again, these popular names, they kind of almost like go in a group and stuff. And so this one came down, filled that gap to the penny, boom, got the bounce right there. And when you look down below, like liquidity as far as imbalances, gaps, things of that nature, there's not any until you get way down there. It's like 84, 89 area. So, that's why I'm thinking, obviously, if this one keeps going, you'll see a couple of the high beta names, like I'm going to talk about in a minute, continue to go up on this one. And again, if it wants to continue to go, next fib level clearly is going to be that 118.32 area right in there. And then above that, you're looking like 123, I believe. And trust me when I tell you, I know we're overdue for a pullback. So again, that's why I showed you the liquidity below on this. Now, two high flyers here, App 11. Obviously, this thing rocketed after earnings. It's come back down, pretty much giving almost all that back. It's retesting this previous all-time high, right? Or sorry, I shouldn't say all-time high. All-time high is to the left. And this previous high, excuse me. And so it's come back down, testing that, taking up some of that liquidity right here. If this turns, obviously you can see the fibs right there above it. And so this one could absolutely start to go. And these run fast because of these low float, high short type stocks. But, this one right here, 453 be that next level to break out. And then, of course, there's all-time highs at 521. So remember, this one set all-time high in February, and now it's just, and after the massive move down. So it went from like 530 to 195, I believe, during that crash in April. So again, when I say high flyer, when you look at this, not a perfect cup and handle, obviously, but it looks like it's trying to form a handle right there. And we've seen this pattern break out to the upside so many times right now. Another one is MongoDB, MDB. Hit this trailing line today. It's got earnings next week. So the bigger question is going to be, is this going to go ahead and reject from here, come back down, and then on earnings explode? Because when earnings comes with this thing, it's high double digits like all the time, right? I mean, if you look at some of these earnings right here, and again, and this stock, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it used to be like a $700 stock at one point in time. But you see the shaded area has always been an area of interest for quite a while now, quite a few years. And again, so I'm just trying to see if it's going to come down, do this, and then if it has a big move up on earnings, just explode past that 250 area. Because when you look back at the previous earnings on this thing, it's huge. I mean, 20% plus usually. You know, right there's 20% on the last one. 24% drop right there, and this is just the next day, right? So here 19% drop, and then it proceeded to drop way farther down, right about 33%. And so again, that is a 21% move up. So it has very, very large moves on earnings up or down, but it's setting up for an explosive move to the upside if it gets anything remotely good. HIM's one to watch out for because all the healthcare stocks are pretty much doing well now. You know, Oscar's moving up, UNH, all those other stocks. This one's still dropping. It needs to bounce here because if it don't bounce here, it's going to come down to this level right here between like 38, 39 bucks right in there. Okay, it's going to take out that low right in the middle right there. That's what it's going to take out. And then you could see a bounce from there. But again, this one needs to bounce. It's come down quite a bit. Again, I'm just going to pull these over. These are, you know, either gaps or levels to watch out for in case there is a big pullback in the market. When I say big pullback, I mean like, I don't know, 3 to 7% or something like that. And so we'll watch out for this one, but we'll see if it gets the bounce. I mean, it's obviously in a major discount right now, coming down into this imbalance. Let's see if it gets some love like the rest of the healthcare stocks have been getting. IWM real quick, this right here is just simply holding this area now. Okay, 3 days in a row. We talked about that 126.42 area. That's where it's holding, consolidating for now. This one gets affected by all the rate cuts. As the rate cuts, percentages have come down, that kind of stuff. This has come down. You do have liquidity below. You have liquidity above, so it's kind of jammed in between there. And so we'll see how this is going to do. Obviously, you know, as the S&P does better and the Qs do better, this one tends not to do as good. So again, it's all about the rate cuts for this stock. I believe some of those stocks I just talked about actually trade on IWM. So again, watch the high beta stuff for this one. And when it comes to earnings, we'll get the first major retailer in Home Depot. See if they're seeing any kind of slowdown, anything with tariffs, anything like that. And then after them, it'll be XPing in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you will have Toll Brothers, okay? And then when it comes to data, pretty much hardly anything to worry about. You're going to end up with building permits, housing starts. That's it, okay? So buckle up, which hopefully is a much more fun day than the day it was. Think about hitting that like, subscribe button on your way out. I'm going to sign up for the membership, left the McDonald's combo at $7.99. Just hit that first link down the bottom. That's everything you get with it right there. And I'll see you guys for another hopefully fun one tomorrow.